So I came home from work early to talk about this because it was on my mind literally this morning since I seen it. And it just goes to show you in this country, and I say about the priests and the bishops, they're not worth a damn in this country. Because not one of them, I hear literally none of them, they should be up in arms. This is 3 weeks ago, I'm only after finding about this today. But not one, where's the Archbishop of Dublin? Where's all the bishops? Where's my Bishop of Kilmore? Where are they? Are they all asleep? Where's the priests? Are they all asleep? Because none of them are willing to stand up, and I think this is evil. Like, there's no other word. This is satanic. That's the word I would use, satanic. And the whole definition of the state is satanic too. Because let's be fair, denying somebody, a man or a woman or a child, as a Christian, is a mortal sin. Like, it's a mortal sin, let's be fair. Denying them the last right on this earth to get their blessing, the last right, and to hear their confessions, and to hear, looking for forgiveness of priest. It's a mortal sin. That's what it is, and the HSE in the state is committing a mortal sin. If they all haven't already, but pretty much, if you die in Galway, pretty much, if you die after 9 p.m. in Galway now, you won't have a priest basically there by your side. You could probably call a priest there, but there's no chaplain there. They used to have 24-hour, as it says here, 24-hour support, and then they got rid of it for whatever reason, because there's no money. Apparently that's the excuse. There's no money. But there's money to send all the politicians off on St. Patrick's Day, here, there and everywhere, free holidays and this. Money for bicycle sheds, money for children's hospitals. There's money coming out of everybody's ears, basically, in the government. There's literally hundreds of billions. Last year, Ireland had hundreds of billions of euro left over after the budget. Hundreds of billions. And as we speak, the country's making huge amount of money, more than any other country in Europe. And you mean to tell me, even years ago, when the country had literally no money, like, the country literally had no money, they were still able to do this. And this is satanic, that's all it is. It's all about, they hate having crosses and stuff in corridors nowadays. They despise having crosses in the corridors. They despise everything about Catholicism in this country, in terms of the politicians and these NGOs and the HSE. They hate God, they simply do. And that's simple, and it's satanic. What they're doing here, and it's a sin, it's a mortal sin, and I keep saying it, but it is a mortal sin to deny a man or a woman on their deathbed, on their literally deathbed, an hour or a few minutes before they die, before they leave this planet for good. It's a mortal sin. Like, it is generally a mortal sin. There's no other way to, and it's satanic to deny that of a person that is literally about to die, that is not going to be on this earth anymore, the last right, to get their last rights emitted to them, and to hear their confessions, and to look for forgiveness, etc., and to look for their Lord and Saviour forgiveness for any of those sins. And I think it's a mortal sin. Again, they're saying about the Bishop of Galway. Like, the Bishop of Galway, what's he doing? Like, the Bishop of Galway should be up in arms. He should be outside the gates of Leinster House, ready to march in. Because that's what he should be doing as a bishop. He should be there. Because this is a mortal sin. Like, this is, like, above anything else, this is a mortal sin. To deny a person that's about to die their rights, the last rights. So what is this bishop doing? Is he any good at all? Because he should be literally he should be going to Rome. That's where he should be going. He should be going to the Pope and saying to the Pope, like, the generally honest, he should be going to the Pope and saying this is an awful sin, and denouncing the Irish government for this. Because, again, these people have been paid by the HSE. They're not like run by like these two priests that are in Galway Hospital. They're being paid by the HSE. The HSE is basically there paying them. They're employed by the state. They're employed by the Irish people to be there, because they're employed with the HSE. They complied with the HSE pretty much, because it is the HSE pretty much that's paying them, and that's what's happening here. Because it is the HSE. They're under the HSE. They're not under the Catholic Church. They're under the HSE. It's the same as the chaplain in Cavan here in the hospital. He's under the HSE. That's as simple as that. He's getting paid by the HSE, and the HSE, he's there under the HSE. He's not under the Catholic Church. But still, nonetheless, the Bishop of Galway should be ashamed of himself, because he should be kicking up, and I'm only after hearing about this morning. I should have heard about this 2 weeks ago. Where he should be on every radio station in the country, this bishop, denouncing this satanic, because again, they were afraid to say it, but it's unsatisfactory. What it's unsatisfactory, that's the word you use, it's satanic. It's evil. Like, let's not conflate the words here, unsatisfactory. It's the definition of an evil, to deny a man or a woman, a Christian man or a Christian woman, their last few minutes on earth, to deny them their last rights. And their place in heaven, and to listen to their sins, and to give them comfort in the last few moments on earth, in the last few minutes of earth. That's what it is, and it's satanic. And to deny that it's satanic, let's be fair, there's no other word to describe it. I'm very wisdom about that. As I said, I had to come back from work early to talk about this, because I felt so passionate about it, and I'm going to kick up holy hell now in a second. I'll be ringing up a few people now and going to give them a good telling off of some of my local councillors here. Even though I'm in Cavan, I still be giving them a good telling off, because it's a shame. Every councillor, every TD should be up up in arms. Like, there should be, every council, even in Cavan, should be saying, this is outrageous, how dare they do this, because they would simply not do it. If this was a Muslim or anything that, God forbid, the whole country would go into lockdown if this happened. If this was a Muslim, say, a Muslim was denied their rights, etc. They'd be outside the gates of Dáil there'd be emergency session of Dáil and every legislation, there'd be money thrown everywhere to get it back if they were denied it. But it's simply, that's the fact of the matter, and I say this straight away, that the Irish state hates Christianity. They hate everything to do with this country. They hate Christians. They hate everything. They hate you and me because we are Christian, that we believe in God. Because the government think they are God. That's the problem. The government and the majority of these bishops and stuff think they're God. They think they're the man himself. They think they are judge, jury and executioner. But this is the thing, they're not. Simple as that, they're not, and they need to get that into their head. But this is outrageous. And if you ever wanted to see, like, evil, if you ever wanted to see just a mortal sin committed by the Irish state, this is a mortal sin. A mortal, like literally a mortal sin. And again, so many people probably have died already since this has been implemented during the night, and been left without the confessions being heard or without their last rites being administered. And it's a mortal sin. Like, God knows, it could be 100, 200 people that were denied this. Simple as that. And it's evil. It's evil. It's satanic. It's the devil in disguise in my case, because there's no such thing as no money. They're using this excuse, no money. Why they should come out and say that they don't believe, that the HSE doesn't believe, the people that serve the right and they think the Catholics shouldn't have the right. Because let's be fair, there's no such thing as money. They can find the money when they need to find it, but let's be fair, that's what it is. But it is satanic, and I say to any councillors or TDs in Galway, and Catherine Connolly, even though I don't think she believes in God, but she's from Galway. As Uachtar on the Heron, as President of Ireland, your fellow citizens have been left without their rights. As Uachtar on the Heron, even though you have no political say, but you still have an obligation, because half of this country, 80%, 90% of the country, is Catholic, and they believe in God. And as Uachtar on the Heron, as President of Ireland, you have a duty, and just to say, because she is from Galway, you have a duty to speak up for the people that are not being heard, and for the Catholics that are not being heard. You have a duty to serve the people, and you have a mandate. And as a former TD, as a former Teachtaí Dála of Galway, you have a duty to speak up for these people. You have a duty, you have an obligation too. And I say this to all the TDs and stuff in Galway, not even in Galway, from around the country, you have an obligation as an Irish representative of Parliament to speak up for the people, regardless of what you believe. If you're atheist, if you're Protestant, whatever you are, it doesn't matter. This is more than what religion you are. This is more about what is right. And this is more about giving a person on their deathbed, on their last few minutes on this planet, a bit of comfort, and to heal their sins and forgive their trespasses. And if you're a TD or councillor and you refuse to say anything against this, you're worse than the HSE for this. Simple as that.